So as far as so that's kind of what we were learning. Kind of what our stance is while we're still working on Hackberry Hollow. And then during that time, Adam, you decided to enroll into the Animation Mentor program.
Yeah, I did the animation mentor 'cause we're going to be doing animation down the road, and animation mentor is really the place to go to learn animation. They're amazing. Their program's great. Having been through it, I'll tell you their program's great. Um,
They do,
and
yeah, they do 3D animation, not 2D animation.
yeah, they're a 3D computer animation, so it's focused on that. Um, but if that's what you're going into, that's definitely a place to learn it. And it's like all programs, you only get out of it what you put in. But yeah, in the future, Lumaglyph is going to be doing animation. I'm very much looking forward to that. Right now, I've kind of got an itch that I need to scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn knows about that because I'm constantly talking about it and talking about the project that's going to come up when we start doing animation here. I think I bring it up an almost unhealthy amount.
Yeah.
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 I love animation.
Yeah, and this particular project is something that is small scale that we can actually finish. Oh, yeah, it's funny. It's funny because we stopped doing the Firefox ads because of scope was part of it.
Yeah,
because we did put a lot of time into that.
Well, we did, but we learned a lot. I mean, I don't regret doing that. But and then of course you have Hackberry Hollow,
which is 4 volumes.
Yeah. It ended up
Whoops.
being 4 volumes, and each volume is could be a self-contained comic story on its own.
Actually, not really. I mean,
okay, they don't have all the story elements in them, but
yeah,
because the 4 volumes work together. But in terms of length, you could tell a very thorough, complete story in that length.
Yeah, which for our next project after Hackberry Hollow, because again, we're probably going to be doing webcomics for a little bit until we get more situated to do animation. But
the next one's going to be smaller.
It's going to be smaller. But I will say, like what we have going with Hackberry Hollow, I'm actually excited that it's as long as it is.
Yeah, the next one after Hackberry Hollow is going to be shorter, and then the next one after that, it's a little up in the air on which one we're going to do. But the 3 ideas that are on the table right now are a little bit longer, but with the experience underneath our belt, I'm hopeful that we should be able to accomplish the same with the same or greater level, much greater level quality. Yes, always better.
Yeah,
and we should be able to do it much faster. And
we'll have more staff by then.
We'll also have more staff.
Pretty sure we will,
and we'll be more skilled.
Yep.
We're here. You always have to get better. That's the biggest thing to me, and I'm pretty sure we will. So I'm not too worried about the scope of those, and neither one of them is bigger than Hackberry Hollow. They're just, Yeah,
at least we think so. I mean, we didn't think Hackberry Hollow was going to be as big as it was.
Yeah, we're saying that about this next project. We'll see. It shouldn't be though, because it's. I've kind of got an outline written out for it that takes you all the way to the end, and it's fairly simple.
Mm.
You don't have nearly as many twists and turns you have to go through for Hackberry Hollow, because Hackberry Hollow is just constantly pulling the rug out from under you and tightening the screws and.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting about Hackberry Hollow is that when we kind of in its earlier stages, we decided to have the story finish at one point, and then you just can't help it. You have to think of, well, what could we do with the story after this? We just came up with
we came up with a sequel idea, and then we totally tacked it on and kept going.
Yeah. So we had this idea for a sequel, and we're like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. We can't just. We have to do this.
It was better than what we had before, and so we increased it. We didn't double the length. What we did...
We added another volume.
Yeah, we added
It went from 4 to 5 volumes, I think is what it did, and of course now we're going to bring it back to 4, because volumes 3 and 4 are together are the length of the third one or something. I can't remember.
3 and 4 were the same length as 1 and 2 individually.
Yeah.
So you have 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, and then 5, And so we just kind of combined 3 and 4, and now they're 4 volumes of approximately equal length.
Yeah, and part of the reason why we did that is because the what was originally the sequel ending, which is now the new ending, ended up being we were able to end with the same conflict that we started with.
Yes.
So that's why we're like, okay, we got to do this.
Well, the other thing is that quote unquote sequel idea, it made the story complete. It actually fixed a lot of the problems that we had in it, such as the plot elements weren't working, and then we add that in there. Then all of a sudden, the whole thing felt wrapped up. It felt like there was closure, and it felt like, it felt complete. It felt like a single whole. And so I was like, okay, this isn't a sequel. This is part of the same story.
Yep. So. But yeah, and this isn't the same ending idea that we alluded to a couple of weeks ago. No, not the same thing. Anyway. See, once the story is actually done and we can actually talk about all this stuff less vaguely. You guys are going to be in for a treat. You guys are going to be in for a treat when the story's done. We can actually talk more about the development of said story.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing other podcasts, and we'll talk about things that are already done and out. Anything that's public knowledge we can talk about. So it'll be pretty exciting. I'm really thrilled with Hackberry Hollow. It's by far the best thing that I've ever written, and in this case, it was collaborative.
Yeah, which is, I think, one of the big things we learned is the value of a co-writer.
My goodness.
Goodness, yeah.
I couldn't have done that by myself. I sit back and look at that and go, my goodness, am I good enough did I write that?
Yeah, and I think I remember there's a I think 2 instances I can recall where we just came up with something, just the idea for the story, and then we would just sit back and look at our outline and be like, holy crap, did we just come up with that?
Is it ours? It's like I feel like I want to touch it.
This isn't derivative?
Yeah, this is original. There was one point where there's something that we had in there that I liked it so much. I could have sworn, because I know what my early writing is. Like I said earlier on the podcast, my early writing was very derivative. It was very unoriginal, very uncreative. But I was 10 years old at the time. I mean, come on. But I thought at the time it was good. I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. This is such good writing. Whatever. And so when I realized, I started learning more about writing, and I realized that these problems exist, and I was a victim of these same problems, and so I've been really conscious of that. I really like this idea. Is it derivative? And so then I go back and I think through all of my favorite stories. I think through all these movies. I was like, what has this? And I would actually go and say, okay, what movie has this, this, and this in it? And people go, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And again, this whole thing as far as derivative.
And then the next question, it's a good idea when they go, tell me when you figure it out, because that sounds cool. And I'm like, that's definitely going in there. Okay, Glenn, this makes it in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and
I've done that with a couple of Glenn's ideas. Oh my gosh. Like, one thing that I've learned with collaborative writing, because there are a lot of ideas that I contributed that were really good and we really liked, and there are also a lot of ideas that Glenn did. And in order to, as far as I'm concerned, I just want the best result. I want the audience to like this thing as much as I do. And so it really doesn't matter who contributed what, it's ours.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of who contributed what idea. I mean, once you throw the idea on the table, it belongs to the group.
Yeah, especially since the conversation that led up to that one idea you don't own anyway,
Yeah, because I wouldn't have come up with it without the feedback from the group and without bouncing it off of them. So yeah, it wasn't even my idea. It was just the idea of the group. I happened to have the lips that spat it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really exciting stuff.
Oh yeah, very exciting. I'm so happy about it.
Yeah. So, but as far as the future, I think we'll just have to wait and see. Definitely get Hackberry Hollow done. and animation coming next.
Fate there. Yeah, so, and I'm excited for the animation. Here's one thing from me. I really, really hope you enjoy this. We put a lot of work into it. We put a lot of research into it.
Do you want me to tell you how many hours we've put into this project?
Oh, don't, Glenn. It depresses me.
Okay. Because I keep track of it. I have Clock installed. I've been keeping track.
I know you do. Okay.
It's in the 4 digits.
I know it has 4 digits, and that's part of the reason why it's so depressing. Thank you very much for that, Glenn.
But it is awesome. Oh my goodness. We love our audience that doesn't exist so much.
Okay, but we think it's awesome, and I'm under no delusion. I really hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Give feedback when it comes out. If it sucks, tell us. We want to know that.
Yeah, so that
we can
don't make that mistake next time.
Yeah, so we can fix it on the next story. But yeah, I mean I think you'll like it. I do.
Yeah, and we'll have, again, we said this before, but we will have a test audience that will be reading the script before we start drawing it.
Yeah, we only have a couple people reading it now, but that's gonna expand. We're gonna get some other people. There are a few problems that I am aware of in the script. Those will be fixed. The dialogue needs to be fixed. I'm aware of that. We do know where the problems are, though, so I'm confident that we can fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right, so that's the origin story. I don't know if there's anything else we want to bring up. I've covered everything I wanted to.
Yeah, I think we're there.
All right.
I am. In case you didn't catch it earlier, I'm really excited for when we get to start doing some animation.
Yeah,
I'm like champing at the bit. I just want to move some splines.
Yeah, I just want to spline stuff.
I just want to start splining. That's my favorite part of the animation process, by the way, is when you move from blocking to splining. I love the whole thing, though. But anyway,
yeah, and I would like to learn 2D animation. That's kind of something I want to get into.
Oh yeah, someday I'm going to take a crack at 2D animation.
I want to take a crack at 3D too. So, but anyway, I just, the thing with me, I mean, looking back at my life, music, I want to tell some kind of story with it. And video games, I think, are the same way. Although I do like educating as well, which you can also do with stories too, just as long as it's not obvious.
Yeah, you have to be subtle.
Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, hey, video games, you have to be subtle with it. Oh, look at that.
Hey.
Yep. Yeah, you have to be really subtle with the way you teach people so they can think like, I figured this out on my own, kind of a thing. Stories, same way. A lot of things you got to be subtle so the audience can figure stuff out. And because, I mean, really with a story, honestly, you really are like, here's a world that you created and here's the consequences of certain actions. Really, you kind of are teaching in a way. You are showing what happens when this happens, So, people are always saying, oh, this is, this show is really preachy. If it's obvious, that they're trying to,
Yeah, it only feels preachy if you're too obvious, if you're in the face about it. Now remember, kids.
Yeah. Knowing is half the battle. So, but,
be like Fat Albert.
Hey. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so because of the length, this is going to be split up into parts, but if you've gotten to the end of this podcast, you probably already know that. All right, so I'm going to go start doing some audio editing because that's where my roots are. All right, I am Glenn Moyes.
I'm Adam Weber.
And we are signing off.
Bye.